The year with the same old problem with home insurance. The costs are going up, and state leaders say their reforms could take another year to deliver results, with no guarantees, by the way, that they're going to pay it all off. Tonight, our political editor Craig Patrick's going to break it down and show us what more they could be doing to try to bring down our rates.
Well, state lawmakers reduced costs for insurance companies by making it harder to sue insurance companies in the hope that they would pass their savings on to all of us.
The laws that we change dramatically change the litigation environment we have in the state.
But some lawmakers and consumer groups say the governor and legislative leaders have overstated the impact that lawsuits have on our insurance rates.
The cost of the so-called frivolous, and I put that in quotes, litigation is a few pennies of the premium dollar, nothing of the magnitude to drive the premium increases that we've seen.
Insurance companies say a big part of the problem is their cost of reinsurance, or the insurance they have to buy to cover themselves. See, risk models price that in part on the growing risks of climate change. And for a state flanked by water and Hurricane Alley, it's disproportionately driving up reinsurance costs in Florida.
And is what is keeping insurance companies from being able to stay in the state.
Well, Florida already committed billions of dollars in state money to the insurance companies in the form of cheaper state-backed reinsurance, but only a handful of companies tapped into that, possibly because it did not meet all of the requirements that insurers need to cover most of the homes in Florida. Well, to that point, Florida already had a state-backed catastrophe fund that serves a similar purpose, but some companies cannot access it. So that's driving proposals to lower the attachment point or make it easier for insurance companies to access the money in that fund.
There's a reason why we have a backup plan here in Florida to do that. We have the CAT fund.
Meanwhile, hurricane victims say their insurance companies have stalled and underpaid claims, and some even altered and reduced the damage estimates their own field adjusters wrote. And that's why the state has already stepped up enforcement and fines on insurance companies.
It's a strong accountability bill that says you got to pay claims faster, and if you don't do what you're supposed to do, the penalties are higher.
But watchdogs want to see more, including requirements that insurance companies disclose profits and executive payouts and payments to their sister companies. At the same time, the state has made several changes to make it harder to get into state-run Citizens insurance. That's because Citizens covers less and puts customers at risk of high surcharges to cover its losses. And then if that's not enough, surcharges on all of the private homeowner policies across the state. But consumer advocates like Bernie Birnbaum suggest going in the other direction, making it easier to get into Citizens, because if Citizens can take on less risky policies, it could be more financially stable and less likely to hit us with those surcharges as more and more private companies pull out of the Florida market.
If the companies don't want to play ball, if they don't want to write, then let's create not just an insurer of last resort, but a public insurer that actually competes for the business. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Now, beyond that, lawmakers across the aisle say we need to do more to fortify our communities and homes so they're less likely to get damaged by wind and water. And that's why they replenished the My Safe Florida Home program and may find more ways to give homeowners rebates and incentives to bolster their homes. Craig Patrick, Fox 13 News.